Hi first graders, let's go ahead and finish up chapter 2 today. Beezus glanced at Ramona, who had been surprisingly quiet for a long time, to see how she was coming along with her picture of Ralph. Except for the stripe of sky at the top, Ramona's paper was blank. Now she dipped her brush in yellow paint, divided the hairs of the brush into 3 tufts, and pressed them on the paper, leaving a mark like the track of a bird. "That's not the way you use a paintbrush," said Beezus. "Besides, you're getting paint on your fingers." "Look, Ralph's feet marks!" exclaimed Ramona, paying no attention to Beezus. "You mean footprints," corrected Beezus. "Now go and paint the rest of Ralph." "Feet marks," said Ramona stubbornly, making more footprints across the paper. "And I can paint him because I can't paint him because he's just pretend." Oh well, thought Beezus, maybe making footprints isn't good for the brush, but it keeps her quiet. She dabbled her own brush in green paint and tried to stir up her imagination. She felt a little encouraged because Ramona was having trouble too. "Hey," interrupted Wayne in a loud voice. "She's licking my sucker." "Ramona!" Beezus was horrified to see Ramona, no longer interested in footprints, calmly sucking Wayne's grape-flavored lollipop. "Ramona, put that down this instant. You're not supposed to lick other people's suckers." "You give me that!" Wayne made a grab for his lollipop. "No!" screamed Ramona, trying to hold it out of his reach. "I want it!" "Ramona, give it to him," ordered Beezus. "It's all germy." "You mean she's getting germs on it," said Wayne. "Give it to me." The rest of the class stopped painting to watch. Wayne made another grab for his lollipop. This time he grabbed Ramona by the wrist. "Let go of her," said Beezus angrily. Ramona howled as Wayne tried to pry her fingers loose from the lollipop stick. He knocked against his muffin tin, which flipped into the air, spattering paint all over the table, the drawing boards, and the floor. Ramona was splashed with red and yellow paint. Blue and green ran down Wayne's jeans and onto his sneakers. A pool of brown paint dripped off the table onto the floor. "Now see what you did," said Wayne after he pried his sucker out of Ramona's fist. "See what you did," contradicted Beezus, "picking on my little sister like that." She picked up the paper towel, the sucker that had been resting on it, and began to wipe the spatters off Ramona, who continued to howl. "Boys and girls," Miss Robbins raised her voice, "let's be quiet. When the room is quiet, I know you are thinking. Lots of people don't know how you have to think while you paint." Then she turned to Wayne. "All right, Wayne, you may get a damp cloth and wipe up the paint." "I'm sorry, Miss Robbins," said Beezus. "I want the sucker," screamed Ramona. Suddenly, Beezus decided she had had enough. This art class was one place where Ramona was not supposed to be. She was supposed to play in the sand pile. Mother had said so. She was not supposed to upset the class and spoil everything with one of her tantrums. Beezus made up her mind that she was going to do something about it right now, too, though she didn't know what. "Ramona, stop that this instant," Beezus ordered. "Go out and play in the sand pile where you belong, or I'll... Frantically, Beezus tried to think what she could do. Then she had an inspiration. "Or I'll tickle you," she finished. "I guess I do have some imagination after all," she thought triumphantly. Instantly, Ramona stopped crying. She hugged herself and stared at Beezus. "Don't tickle, Beezus," she begged. "Please don't tickle." "Then go out and play in the sand pile like Mother says you're supposed to," said Beezus. "Don't tickle," shrieked Ramona as she scrambled down from her stool and ran out the door. Well, thought Beezus, it worked. It really worked. Feeling suddenly lighthearted, she tacked a fresh sheet of paper to her drawing board and sat staring at it. Maybe Ramona didn't have so much imagination after all, if she couldn't draw a picture of an imaginary green lizard. Well, if Ramona couldn't paint a picture of Ralph, she could. Ramona was not the only one in the family with imagination, so there. Beezus seized her brush and painted in another sky with bold, free strokes. Then she dipped her brush into green paint and started to outline a lizard on her paper. Let's see, what did a lizard look like? She could not remember. It didn't matter much anyway, not for an imaginary animal. She had started the lizard with such brave, bold strokes that it took up most of the paper and looked more like a dragon. Beezus promptly decided that animal was a dragon. Dragons breathe fire, but she did not have any orange paint, and she was so late in starting this picture that she didn't want to take any time to mix any. She dipped her brush into pink paint instead and made flames come out of the dragon's mouth. Only they didn't look like flames. They looked more like spun sugar candy Beezus had once eaten at the circus. And a dragon breathing clouds of pink candy was more fun than an ordinary flame-breathing dragon. Forgetting everyone around her, Beezus made the pink clouds bigger and fluffier. Dragons had pointed things down their backs, so Beezus made a row of spines down the back. They did not look quite right, more like slanting sticks than spines. Lollipop sticks, of course. At that, Beezus laughed at herself. Naturally, a dragon that breathed pink spun sugar would have lollipops down its back. Eagerly, she dipped her brush into red paint and put a strawberry lollipop on one of the sticks. She painted a different flavor on each stick, finishing with a grape-flavored lollipop like the one Wayne and Ramona had shared. Then she held her drawing board at arm's length. She was pleased with her dragon. It was funny and colorful and really imaginary. Beezus wondered what she would do next. Then she remembered that Miss Robbins often said it was important for an artist to know when to stop painting. Maybe she'd spoil her picture if she added anything. No, just one more touch. She dipped her brush in yellow paint and gave the dragon an eye, a lemon drop eye. There, her imaginary animal was finished. By that time it was 4:30 and most of the boys and girls had put away their drawing boards and washed their muffin tins. Several mothers who had come for their children were wandering around the room looking at the paintings. Those who have finished, wash your hands clean, said Miss Robbins, and I mean clean. Then she came across the room to Beezus. Why, Beezus, she exclaimed, this is a picture to be proud of. I didn't know whether a dragon should have lollipops down his back or not, but they were fun to paint, said Beezus. Of course he can have lollipops down his back. It's a splendid idea. After all, no one has ever seen a dragon, so no one knows how one should look. Miss Robbins turned to several of the mothers and said with admiration in her voice, here's a girl with a real imagination. Beezus smiled modestly at her toes while the mothers admired her picture. We'll tack this one in the very center of the wall for next week's classes to see, said Miss Robbins. It was fun to paint, confided Beezus, her face flushed with pleasure. Of course it was, said Miss Robbins, as she carefully placed the picture in the center of the wall. Didn't I tell you worked too hard at painting before? Beezus nodded. That was the wonderful thing about it, she thought, as she scrubbed off her muffin tins. Her dragon had been fun, while her flying horse had been work. And she had imagination. Maybe not as much as Ramona, but real imagination just the same. Here's a girl with real imagination, Miss Robbins had said. A girl with real imagination, a girl with real imagination, Beezus thought as she left the building and ran across the park to the sandpile. Come on, Ramona, it's time to go home, she called to her little sister, who was happily sprinkling sand on a sleeping dog. And let's not forget Ralph. Good old Ralph. Here ends chapter 2. On Monday, we're going to start chapter 3 called Ramona and Ripsy. Bye.